Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us use this. Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us use this. Use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. Salute the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Celine cannot be with us tonight. She's attending another meeting last Thursday. I'll open it to the public. Anyone from the public wish to speak?
Yeah, I'm here on behalf of my mother, Carol Duquette. I came to you a couple months ago and I discussed with you the residents of the Brinks next door to her. Last month I came again and I requested a letter signed by you and Mike Tatro within 10 days for what's going to be rectified for this land problem. Now I went in front of the zoning board and I proved to them that it's not underneath the section you photocopied for my mother. It's underneath non-conforming land use. And that's exactly what that is. It's got 90 or less feet, it's non-conforming. Now we have some more issues. He's got his runoff water going on our property. And the only way they can get to their back land is to come mow across our land to get to their backyard. Something needs to be done. You need to face it. Town of Champlain's in a little bit of trouble. You're either in trouble telling the Brinks to move it, or you're in trouble if you don't move it. So either way, something's going to happen. But I want something in writing in 10 days or my mother's going for legal assistance and a lawyer's going to be used. If we can't get it by requesting it from you, then I'm going legal with it. I've asked 3 months in a row. I came here and asked you to stop what they were doing. I said, go there, stop what they're doing, look into it. You went, you threw a photocopy at my mother, you said, it's all fine. It's not. And I proved it to the zoning board. I showed Mike Tatro, and I'm not going to come back here next month on my own. I'll be here with a lawyer, and it's not going to be pretty this time, Bruce. I've asked you several times. Several times. I'm actually still waiting for a letter from 2 years ago. I never got that one either, but this one I'm requesting in writing.
Okay. Anyone else?
I got a couple of quick things. I noticed in the paper today, tomorrow night, there's a meeting in Ellenburg on the windmills, and I know there was a committee formed in the town to look into that. I'm just wondering if you may have discussed it at a meeting I wasn't at or whatever, but wind generators, is that, if that opportunity knocks, we have to decide if it's an opportunity or not. And
We haven't forgot this, Calvin. We have a committee working on windmills, tire storage, and sludge on the three of them.
well, those are not quite related, but
No, but they're all things that I think that could affect the town.
how does it stand right now if somebody comes in tomorrow and wants to put one up?
We haven't got anything back from Bill, have we?
Currently, according to our current zoning, you would need a use variance to put up a windmill. And to get a use variance, it's supposedly very hard to prove. You have to prove financial hardship. You can't use the land for any other use, and so on and so forth. That's the current law until if and when we do change it. But we are going to be looking into windmills. I've been keeping track of all these articles and these people. I've contacted a couple of the companies and gotten their spin on it, but we have a committee off the zoning board, the planning board, and the town board to work on this.
Well, I think somebody ought to be there in Ellenburg tomorrow night, since this is going to be the topic of discussion. When it gets to be 20 below zero, I think we'd all like to have some alternative to paying the fuel bills. So if this is a good way to do it, I'm not saying it is or isn't, but it should be explored, and we ought to find out one way or the other, and not hold it up if it is something good, or allow it if it's something bad. Yeah, so that committee, I think, should be actively pursuing it. And the other thing I have is, it's hotter than heck out today, but it won't be too long when they're going to be plowing the snow again. When I drive into Rouse's Point, I look at the Fairbanks Road, and I know you discussed it last year, and the state gave you some alternatives, but I haven't heard any more since then. And I don't think we should wait till the snow flies to decide what you're gonna do about that dangerous intersection now.
You wanna tell them where you are with that, Ellen?
It's gonna be coming in August.
The state's
Gonna
gonna,
take care of it in August. I put my foot to help them out, to move the curbing 12 foot. Junior Ashline gave us 12 feet of his land through the state. State made them sign papers.
that'll be on the east side,
Yep,
so they'll make it.
yep. It'll be wider for the snowplow to pull out. They're not putting that for the public now. I mean, as far as cars and buses and stuff, it's just basically for the snowplow. So it's gonna be coming out.
Well, if it's there, the public's gonna use it, I mean.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, they're not just doing it for the cars
Yeah,
and the
right,
trucks
doing it
right now, they're
the
doing it
problem
for
is
the
the
plow.
snowplow. The snowplow
Yep.
comes out of there,
Yep.
they can't see or be seen till
That's
they're
right.
right out in the middle of the road.
So I talked to Wendy the other day in Plattsburgh, and they're still planning on doing it in August.
Okay. Thanks.
Nothing else?
No.
Anyone else? Okay. Need approval of the minutes of the meeting, something that can be added or taken out of it?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of June 14th.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, next is, we have a letter that Mike sent to Mayor Rivers and the board members of Ross's Point. That we've got our answers back from our Vernier and Tar and sent them on to Ross's Point. Now we're waiting for them to let us know about the meeting. This, next one, grant information. How'd you make out on that, Larry, with Marty?
Nothing. I know nothing.
You didn't call him?
We passed the date on the grants for the parks?
Yeah.
Yeah, we passed the date on
I
it.
thought you were still gonna call him.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Okay. Grant information. This next one is, okay, it's old business. Do you have anything, Mike, on the grant information?
Nothing new, haven't got anything to reply yet,
Okay, on NCCS water, we haven't heard more on that.
nothing on that.
Jules, Ross Point Library?
The Ross Point Library, I met with some of the people involved, and it seems that we have a little bit of a problem, and that got resolved. They are gonna have, for the children to go to a reading, and right now, they're gonna probably use the Champlain Learning Center, which is the, on Maple Street in Ross's Point, and St. Patrick's Church. I talked with Father Lewis, and we are going to make the parish center available for this also. For some reason or other, we can't use the library, and that's a long story there right now, and this village is working on that part of it. But we are gonna have this program going this year.
Okay, I've got another one. You know what, you're working on cable TV. Will you get together with the village of Champlain?
I got, with the Champlain, I gotta meet with Ross's Point, see who's on that part.
Okay. Yes, I talked with Champlain, they're really interested in getting together. Okay, we need a resolution on legislation or civil practice law and rules, section 4545. It's a sample of what other towns have done. City of Plattsburgh did it, county did it, the towns of Osable, Altoona, Beekman Town, Chazy, Dannemore, Moores, Peru, Schuyler Falls, the villages of Dannemore, Keysville, and Ross's Point. We're about the last to do this. I'll make a motion on this. You've read it?
I make a motion to pass that resolution.
Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? John? Roll call.
Yes.
Clifford?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
I vote yes. We have a letter from Carl Shank. Carl wants to be on that committee with Jules and Mike on, for the wind farms, the sludge, and the storage of tires.
Is Scott gonna spearhead this?
We should get together and,
Well, so is he gonna call us together on this? Seems to me, so you should, yeah.
okay.
I mean,
I'll ask him.
somebody from planning board or zoning board should chair this.
Okay, I'll ask him.
We'll have a meeting, talk about it.
Okay. We have nobody from the zoning board. Bruce Seagood.
I'm saying,
Okay, then we've got the two people. Yeah, the minutes of the zoning board meeting, May 19th. Code officers report in June. And Mike is requesting that increase the zoning law book from $10 to $15. Because now we have the subdivisions in it, the junkyard, and adult entertainment law, and a lot more paper. Do we need a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to raise this to $15.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I'll do another roll call. John?
Yes.
Clifford?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Jules?
Yes.
Okay, and next one is on my report. I have a letter from the Teamsters. They're wishing to start negotiating for next year. And I've also got a letter from the union steward here that he's resigned, so I guess they're gonna appoint another one. And we have our letter back from the state where they've taken over that one part of the West Service Road that should have been done 20 years ago. And we've got a letter from New York State. This is the letter for Ridgeview and Ladou's Farm, so they can spread manure. We have to have a letter now. Assessment data mailers. That's going to be mailing these out. And we have a letter from George and Peg Rivers, us and one from Pat, returning. Suppose I have the. Are you satisfied with the answers? Or is there still things that unanswered?
Well, I did meet with Pat yesterday, and she did show me where there was an error made in the square footage that we had been assessed for. And I have not received an answer from the Board of Assessment Review, which I assume I won't be because they don't meet that often. And they did not give us a reason for the rejection. And that's what I was asking. New York State booklet that I was operating from said that they were supposed to give us a statement or check one of the boxes as to why they rejected us, and they didn't. They just rejected.
So that's what you're waiting for?
I think it would be very nice to know that. I mean, they are responsible to you, to the town board here, and they should tell the people why they're specifically rejecting them. I was disappointed that they did not look at our assessment that we were assessed at when we had been assessed at more square footage than we actually had for several years and didn't take that into consideration. But that's the way it goes, I guess.
Find out about that. Get an answer from that. This next one, the Clinton County Youth Bureau, that's already been done. We had to do that before. Okay. A little bit, the highway, we'll do that. Highway Superintendent's report, Alan?
Well, I got the Stetson Road, I got maybe 3-4 more days and it's done. Schooner Road is done. Prospect Street, golf course, that's gonna be held till September 1st, right, Red? We agreed to that. Fairbanks, we already discussed that. I got one thing here that I was able to meet with these guys from Madison Tree Experts. I wanted to get the Corner Fair and Stony Point trimmed. Got trees there pretty high up, and we're not equipped to do that. They're equipped to do it, and they give us a price on doing it. 2 people with an aerial lift and a chipper for a week, and $90 an hour. I don't know if the board would go along with that, to trim that.
You want them for 1 week or 2 weeks?
Well, I figure 1 week, they could pretty much knock all that off.
Because if you need them for another day, they won't go, right?
Well, he wasn't gonna leave us, let's say it rains and they can't do it. What he was saying, I had to give him a week's work to come here. He wouldn't do it just for a day or 2. I had to give him 40 hours.
They're just doing the high stuff, we do the low stuff.
Yeah. They just clip what's high that we can't handle and knock some trees down and they're dangerous. And they chip everything. The only thing we gotta do is take out a tree, we gotta take care of the wood. They're not wood blockers. They'll block it up and we draw it away.
So you're looking at $3,600.
Right. They're fully insured. It's not something that you gotta worry about a guy going out there and climbing 60 feet in the air without insurance.
I'll make a motion that give Alan the permission to hire him for 40 hours.
Okay, a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll call, John?
Yes.
Clifford?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
I vote yes.
One question, you said you're done on Stutzman, you're done being ready, I assume,
Done on Schwinner Road, we got 1 more week instead.
you're not done paving or,
No, what I'm doing is getting it ready to pave. I gotta get the paper lined up, I didn't wanna get them lined up till I was, ditches are done and culverts. I'm cutting shoulders right now.
Now, do you have anything else?
I'm not right now.
I have one question that brought to my attention today. They seem to have a problem on the golf course road, with a hole in the road.
And on the Hayford Road?
Yeah.
On the Hayford Road?
Yeah.
Well, we call it.
Well, I filled that hole up.
But it's still back again. I don't know what's wrong there, but you've been there a couple times already. And this morning, the hole is back.
The hole caved in.
There's gotta be something wrong there.
Yeah.
You gotta get a washout or something. It seems every time it rains that they,
We're just gonna have to go
it's
dig
deep.
that up.
I mean, a few people were talking to me about it before, they were afraid to lose a wheel there. Right in the middle of the road. Well, not in the
It
middle.
was in our, nobody brought it up to me today. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
I went by, what, twice?
Nobody said anything at the golf course. They usually mention it if it is.
Have somebody check it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I'll
It's gotta be
get faster,
something,
I'll dig it out.
something gotta be, something's undermining. this.
Culvert's on an angle there. The hole's over here, the culvert's like right here. So I don't know, if the water,
Well, I think they changed our culvert, 6, 7 years ago. That was changed, and they did that road. And something's happened there.
but if it's washing out, I can't see where it's washing.
Might have a big hole,
Dig
or
a big hole, dig it out.
repack it,
Repack
or
it.
rock, or something.
You know, on that culvert, on the other side of the road, that's starting to settle. The same place you're talking about? That's on, side towards Ross's Point, whatever. that-
All right.
Southeast. Okay, if you go on the west side of
West
it,
side on.
that's starting to settle down. I stopped and looked at it this noon.
Was the hole there then at noon when you stopped?
It's dipped in, you can see where it's,
But it's not right through.
no, but it's gone down again.
Yeah.
It's probably that the material that was put there wasn't that good and it's washing out.
Way back.
We filled it up with coal patch, and I went back next day and filled it up, and I never had no problems then. But something happened today.
Somebody called me today on
a lot of rain.
Yeah. But they'll dig it out, and they'll repack it.
May I ask a question, please? For the Mason Road, is that going to be left the way it is?
No, There's one more
They're
coat to
they're
go
gonna
with that.
coat it?
Yeah.
Okay, because otherwise that stone will be right up.
Nothing else, Ellen?
No.
Did you get those 4 boxes done for Pat?
I got the barrel ready for it. As soon as she tells me when she's ready to do it, we'll do it.
Mike, you have anything?
Yeah. Got a letter from the health department regarding the South Street. There's problems with the sewers down there. DEC did some testing. We had a meeting here Friday with the DEC and the health department. The answer or the solution, I think, is going to be we have to put a sewer district at least in there, if not a water district along with it. So you have a motion tonight for a resolution to start this process, so we can get the map plan reviewed from the engineers. The DEC seem to be happy with that, because they're gonna give us the option of either the town remedy the problem, or if the people don't want it, then they're gonna be responsible for fixing those problems, and those are very expensive fixes down there because of the topography of the land, the size of the lots, and the proximity to the river. So I think it's in the best interest of everyone down there that when we have to have a survey, so that's gonna be part of this, that they really look at what it's gonna cost them to put their own system in versus having the town do it, and then, of course, they'd be under water and sewer in the village of Champlain then. And the DEC was sort of happy with it if we went that route, but again, this is all up to a permissive referendum and that process.
If they go to a sewer system, then they have a pump station?
Yes.
That's the opinion now, because it's at the low end of the line, so,
Right.
but we're only talking for 14 houses, so it's an added cost, yes, but we don't have an alternative.
You got no place to
Engineered
go, you gotta
systems
go.
are expensive.
No, I mean, you just think, besides the cost quite a bit.
Yeah.
There's one there already at John Zerlo's house.
Yeah, but you gotta get up to there.
I mean, the engineers would have to look at all that stuff, and that would all be in that map plan and review what the cost would be, and what it would break down per household per year. You know, we'll have a number once they do this report, but this is the beginning of the process.
Is everybody in violation there, or just a few?
There's 7 out of 14 that definitely failed direct to the river. There's 2 or 3 very suspect. There's a couple of new systems that have been put in the last few years, but there's also some seasonal people there that are only there during the summer. So there's a mix. But when you do it, I think you have to do it that everybody either gets in it or nobody. You can't pick and choose
No.
who's gonna be in the system and who's not.
Is it advisable to have all these people in the meeting talk about this?
Well,
There's
Before
gonna
you
be a
go any
public
further?
hearing. There's gonna have to be a public hearing, they'll be here then, if not sooner.
Well, what the lawyer advised us to do is have a survey done. That's what I was gonna ask tonight, for Reverend John Paul to do a survey, just a walking survey, and talk with the people and see how they feel. Then we know more where we're going, right?
Yeah.
That's, not spending a lot of money, then right out, you're never gonna be able to do this.
The other thing is, as you mentioned, we have the letter back from Bernier Carr on the questions that the village of Rouse's Point had asked on the water district there. We forwarded that to the village, and they're gonna look at it, and when they're satisfied, they're gonna schedule a meeting with us to discuss further discussions on that Route 11 project. On sewer and water, I received a phone call from someone who was real anxious about having sewer and water at the old Parker dealership on Route 11. Currently, there's none there. I told them we didn't have any, and that's about as far as that conversation went. And on the same subject, I had another person call me for the West Service Road. They want to put a building up, anticipated finish by the month of December. And their words were they want sewer and water if they have to bring it in by helicopter. So I get a lot of calls on the West Service Road. I don't know if the board is generating all these calls, but there's developers looking to buy all the land away from it, both sides of the road. I think something we have to move on this. We're waiting for the right channels to open up here from the government, but we can't keep waiting. issue with water on the Ridge Road. I went with Larry Sorrell from the village to Lisa and Todd Trombley's, and people have had the constant problem of no pressure. Larry took the meter apart, did a few things to it, and we did a bunch of tests, and you got a letter of everything we did, what the pressures were when we got there, what we did with what we found. Biggest problem seemed to be there's a cartridge filter before a water softener, before the water went anywhere else in the house, which drastically reduced the pressure in the water. When we left, we had taken the cartridge filter out, and it was off, and we went back the next day, and she seemed to be happy with the pressure she had. She doesn't care for the water, but that's a separate issue. We have a letter from the health department again on water. It was the status of the water we get from the village of Champlain, the good points, the bad points, some things that need to be worked on. We have to have a local law by 2006 for cross-connection contamination. Now, I spoke with Doug Ferris about this, because I was trying to find somebody that was knowledgeable on this, and he does it for the village of Rouse's Point, and he's currently working on a local law for them, or some wording to that effect. And he said that when he had that, it's a generic law, but basically it'll cover the stuff, and he would give us a copy and see if we can use it in our local law. Village of Champlain has to have something very similar to this. And the other thing in that document was that all commercial buildings have to have backflow preventers. They have to be installed and checked yearly and monitored. New state law. So that's something else we have to do now. Well, that's it. Everything's, water's,
Okay.
other than the resolution.
Are you with the water committee gonna have a meeting with the village, too, in the village of Champlain? Greg Martin and Steve Southley?
I would like to, yes.
Okay, White?
Well, Greg said he'd let us know.
He's on vacation right now, so.
We're both on. Yeah, he's gonna let us know when he wants.
What we really should do, we should really talk about getting the price,
Didn't know what?
getting the price of water down. No, we'll have them look at it.
Yeah. They lost another big user there, Champlain Laundry Club.
Anything else, Mike?
No, that's it.
Okay, I've got a committee reports. Building committee, Larry and Jewel.
The other thing I have, I'm aware of, but the light outside this door is not, the light bulb needs replacing.
This door,
Yes.
they're both on last night,
Or
Monday night when the lights were out. This door or the other door?
this door right here, I was told that one light's not working.
Oh, they're both on. Because I came up, that's why I know.
Next time I see them, I'll tell them they're both working. The light on the sign out here,
That's not working.
okay,
We
I know
replace-
last.
Alan can replace them on Monday, and by Friday, they're busted.
is that a regular light, is it an outside light? Is
It's
that-
an outside, I bought outside lights and outside, you know, the beams there, you know.
Yes.
They don't last.
Is there-
5 days, I don't know if the water gets through or what. I don't know how many times I was told to replace them, I go replace them.
I think we have some people that come out of court that aren't happy. They take it out on our lights, but I'm not sure.
Okay, and the only other thing is, I am aware that we have some air conditioners and buffers and, okay.
Where?
Do we have 4 window units? One major, one central unit?
Maybe there's 4.
So there's 4. Plus, is it?
There's one, yeah, there's 4 window units. The big ones, I did those a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Are you gonna follow up on it? Make sure it's done?
Who's gonna do, who normally does it?
It'd have to be the guys at the back. You got time, Alan?
Yeah. Someday we'll find out.
I'll find time to do some of this.
Okay. Anything else, Larry?
That's it.
Okay. Anything else on building committee? No. Grants committee, John, Paul, and Larry. Board of assessment and review, John. Highway Committee, Clifford and John Paul.
No.
Water and Sewer, John Paul and Clifford. And Mike. Like you said, that's pretty well covered, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, we had a couple of things here. Clifford, on highway signs, what'd you make up?
I got one bid and I'm waiting for another one.
Is it way high?
Well,
Yes.
kind of high.
I got a question to ask. Are those signs worth fixing? Or should we even be looking for somebody else to make,
This person's saying no, they're not worth fixing, so.
then we should be looking, find somebody to make us new signs, right?
Well, they'd make them. This company will make new signs.
What's that talking?
Well, it's pretty hard to say if you're waiting for another bid, you know?
Right. Next month?
Yeah.
Okay. I talked to Sally Sousa from Gordon Hazen's office today on the mileage for the drivers that are driving people to doctors' appointments and to the hospital. And they're looking into getting these people more money per mile. And they're supposed to be getting back to me. Julie, do you have anything to report on the townwide garage sale?
Just that we're having it August 27th.
Either here,
Forms will be here at the office or at the fire station.
okay, I guess we go to, we need a motion for the accept the map plan and report from Bring Our Cars, West Service Road. Okay.
Whereas the town board of the town of Champlain has previously considered the establishment of the East-West Service Road Sewer District in the town of Champlain, County of Clinton, State of New York, hereafter referred to as the Sewer District, and whereas by resolution adopted by the town board dated June 14, 2005, the town board previously authorized the preparation of a map plan and report by engineers retained by the town and whose fees are made payable initially from the general fund as appropriated in the 2005 budget. And whereas on July 12, 2005, a map, plan, and report was duly filed in the office of the town of Champlain Town Clerk relative to proposed establishment of the town of Champlain's East-West Service Road Sewer District, and the same is available for public inspection. Whereas the boundaries of the area of the proposed sewer district to be established as more fully and completely described in Schedule A annexed hereto. Whereas the town has proposed to construct and install all of the proposed improvements at its sole cost and expense from the general fund as appropriated in the 2005 budget. And whereas there is a proposed cost of $436 for hookup fees as the initial rate set forth in the engineer's map plan and report, and that any future hookups will be at standard cost imposed by the town of Champlain Sewer District as may from time to time be established. Whereas the cost of the sewer district is established to the typical property owner will be standard cost charged by the town of Champlain Sewer District to its residential users located within the sewer district. Whereas the town board of the town of Champlain hereby wishes to obtain the views of its citizens, public agencies, and all other interested parties in the subject thereof. Now therefore is hereby resolved. The town board of the town of Champlain shall hold a public hearing on the 9th day of August in the year 2005 to review, consider, and receive public comment and interest in the request to establish the town of Champlain East-West Service Road Sewer District, and any other such action on the part of the town board with relation thereto, as may be required by law and is specifically required in Town Law 209B of the State of New York. And is further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized, directed, and ought to cause notice of public hearing to be published in the Press Republican and posted on a signboard of the town maintained pursuant to Town Law number 30. Copy of this order certified by the town clerk, publication thereof, and said posting to be not less than 10 days and no more than 20 days before the date of such public hearing. This order duly adopted by the town of Champlain, 12th year of July 2005. That's the motion. We have identically the same thing for the water, with the one exception, that the water cost is $877 per year, per unit.
We have to make a motion to accept these and then
Right,
schedule a
it's
public hearing.
a public hearing.
We need a motion to accept it.
One for water, one for sewer.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept
Both of them? Need to vote
Yeah.
together now?
both of them, water and sewer.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call. John?
Yes.
Clifford?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Okay, when do we want to schedule a public hearing? What time do you want to do that?
What do you say?
Next meeting, 7:30?
7:30?
Okay. We need to schedule another public hearing. It's on your second part. Setting a public hearing and local law to increase the term of office. The office of the town supervisor, the town highway superintendent, and the town clerk / tax collector from 2 years to 4 years. You have to do that one.
No, but it's a mandatory referendum.
It'll be on the ballot. So we have to have, still have to have a
Public hearing, yes.
public hearing.
I thought the tax collector, it was all done with.
Town clerk, tax
Town
collector,
clerk,
one unit.
that's one. The town clerk / tax collector is one person.
Yeah.
It's only a 2-year position now.
Yep.
This is his signature.
Oh, okay.
Need a motion on this?
Motion on the public. Time.
Okay. Motion carries.
I'll make the motion that we accept 48 terms.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call. John?
Yes.
Clifford?
Yes.
Larry?
No.
Jules?
No.
And I vote yes. Okay, public hearing. We'll go 7:45 for it?
Yeah.
Okay, we just authorizing that plan report
That's an action, yes.
on town of Champlain, South Street, District 7. We need to do that. You gotta read it, Ron?
Resolution authorizing the map planning report concerning the establishment of the town of Champlain South Street Sewer District Number 7. Whereas the town board of the town of Champlain hereafter referred to as the town has been discussing the possibility of the town establishing the South Street for Sewer District Number 7 in the town of Champlain, provide municipal sewer service to certain premises located along South Street in the town of Champlain. Whereas the town has determined that in order to properly proceed with the consideration of the establishment of said sewer district, the town board acting on behalf of the proposed sewer district must retain engineering services for the preparation of a map plan and report regarding the proposed establishment of the sewer district. Whereas said proposal is to include preparation of a general plan to establish the necessary facilities, as well as the proposed boundaries of the district, an inventory of any existing facilities, and estimates for annual operation and maintenance costs, district delineation and boundary maps. And whereas the town has determined that in order to properly proceed with the map plan and report, it will be necessary to retain the services of an engineering firm. And the town having previously retained the services of Bernier Carr and Associates, an engineering firm in connection with the establishment of all other water and sewer districts within the town. Whereas the town has determined that it is necessary to retain the engineering firm, Bernier Carr and Associates, for the submittal of necessary map plan and report for the establishment of said water district. Now therefore is hereby resolved Town Board of Town of Champlain does subject to permissive referendum, hereby authorize and direct the engineering firm of Bernier Carr and Associates to submit and prepare a map, plan, and report for the establishment of the proposed South River Street Sewer District Number 7. Further resolved that the fees and expenses incurred in the preparation of the said map, plan, and report should be made payable originally from the general fund as appropriated in 2005 budget. An identical one for the water system.
Motion on this?
Is that for South Street?
Yep.
Well, we haven't really, I thought we were just gonna study it out,
Well, this is part of it.
see if the people want it.
You have to have a price.
You can't,
Yeah.
is that the way it works, Mike?
Yeah, you have to, you can do it either way, but how you gonna tell them what they're gonna cost unless the engineers tell them how much it's gonna cost?
You go talk to the people, and we don't have a figure.
All this does is saying that we're studying it, it doesn't say that it's gonna go forward.
It's not gonna cost us anything. We did,
That's gonna cost you money.
gonna cost
If you
us
put
money.
the sewer district in, it will come out of it. The charge for the engineering will be added to the cost of the people who are using it.
Come out of
If you
that.
don't put it in, then it has to come out of your budget.
No, but probably what he's saying is it gonna cost us money to hire these engineers before we find out if people want it or not?
Yes,
Right.
right.
Wouldn't you talk to the people first?
I thought so.
You're just gonna delay it. I don't care if you wanna talk to them first and then,
Well, I thought you'd talk to him first, I don't know.
I don't.
You want to those people, let them know what you're gonna be doing here before you do. Take a motion and shove it down their throat, you're taking pay for this
You're not gonna
thing.
shove it down their throat.
Well, you actually pretty near know what it's gonna cost them per month.
How much?
Well, there's gonna be double water and sewer.
You're gonna put in a lift station and a
How
pump
do you know
station.
what it's gonna cost to put the sewer in? You have to get a figure.
The
You
monthly
don't
rate
need to wait.
is gonna be twice,
Right.
but we don't know what the installation's gonna cost.
Right. I went down on Route 11 years ago and talked about a water and sewer system down there, and that was the first question, yeah, I'm interested, how much? So I don't know. We haven't got a price yet. I said, well, until we get a price, we're not gonna commit to it. Maybe you people may have a study along Route 11, talk to people, maybe you will have a different opinion of it. But it's hard to get people to commit to something if they don't know the price. Maybe hard to get them to commit to it after you get the price.
Yeah.
Then the payment I do.
Works both ways. But if you don't have a price,
But if they don't do it, how much is it gonna cost them to fix their septic system?
That's why I think these people should be brought in and talk about this thing before you win it. Let them know what was
System
going
would probably
on.
cost them, what, $10,000? I think Bobby Kenny paid for his.
No matter to me, whatever way you guys wanna do it.
I think the people should be notified
I have no
first.
problem with whatever way you wanna do it. You want to have a meeting with them?
I think you should. It's their
It's up
opinion.
to Water and Sewer Committee.
Well, it's not gonna take us long, there's only, what, what'd you say, 14 houses? To walk 14 houses and find out.
Okay, you wanna wait till next meeting on this?
You can wait the next meeting, or we'll call a special meeting.
Yeah, whatever way you wanna do it, it's okay with me.
We can do that next week.
Yeah.
We'll do it one night next week, or way during the day, no big meeting. Do it during the day.
Okay. Okay, we'll put this on hold then.
And we'll have a special meeting before the next 2 weeks, just let you know.
Okay.
And we can decide then.
no, I don't know what I mean.
Okay, I'll go back to the public.
Yes, I have a couple questions for you. When you mentioned someone for the wind farms and the sludge and everything, when you first brought it up, I thought somebody from the planning board, zoning board, town board, and then someone from the public was going to be on that committee.
You got Bruce Siegel, Carl Shank, Mike, and Jules, and John Paul.
Yeah, they're all from the town,
Yeah,
the zoning, and the planning board.
yeah.
Shouldn't there be somebody from out of,
You get too many people in a committee, it doesn't work. I think we're better off with a smaller.
no, I thought you had mentioned that on the last one, you were gonna get output from the public also on it. Another thing I wondered about, the zoning law book is going from $10 to $15. That would include subdivision, junk law, and entertainment laws. Have you written new laws? Or is this something that should have been in there to begin with?
We've done it over the course of time, you've been on the board.
Yeah, but I wondered
And
why
we didn't have
you're
it,
doing more.
we didn't have it in that booklet, now we're putting it in. These
What-
are, these
what
are all laws
exactly?
that you've helped create.
Okay, but we have to see what they are.
We've got each individual law. We've got a junk law, adult entertainment, subdivision, and the zoning. Right now, we charge $10 to the zoning, $10 to the subdivision, and $5 for the adult entertainment and the junk law. So we figured if we combine it all in one booklet, we'd only have to charge $15. And that way, everybody's gonna get all the information.
So these subdivision, junk law, and entertainment laws are separate booklets?
Yes, each one is a separate law, a separate booklet.
Oh, I don't have the separate booklets. Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, you've received your trial balance, and then Jane's running for us every month. Well, landfill committee, I'm sorry.
I have nothing on that, so I'd like to go to have an executive session on the personnel policy.
Okay. So I have a motion, you made a motion?
I made a motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Second. Ralph, done your report? You done? No, is that right?
Okay.
Okay. Post audit bills,
Two bills for you. Two bills for the Wilkinson Smith of Potsdam, New York, $314.88. I don't know what it's for, it's all numbers, what's it for?
Uniform.
Uniform. And the other one is Buck Paper Company, $47.87 for towels and things.
janitorial.
Janitorial stuff.
You need approval for the monthly bills?
I'll do them, bills. Okay.
Got a second? Roll call, John?
Yes.
Robert?
Yeah.
Larry?
Yes.
Joe? Yes. I guess that's it. Anything else?
I have one more thing, if it's all right with you, sir. I'd like to find out about last month, I had asked about the, for Dennis Richards, to have
What?
somebody check for Dennis Richards because of the scrap metal that was going in there. And someone was supposed to check on that. Mike was supposed to go down with some of the members from the town board and find out what was going on. You most certainly can.
Yeah, the lawyer said we could. We've already talked to Renee.
He told Mike that he was allowed to go down there and he had to take a few members with him to check on it. I wonder if he's checked on it yet.
I spoke with Dennis, he claims that he's not hauling scrap, he goes to work to Utica twice a week.
Well, we've seen the scrap metal go in there, and
Well,
last
suggest
time I
take
talked to
pictures
you,
of it then.
last time we talked to you about it, Mike, at the zoning board meeting, you said you would go down with some of the members because the letter I had written and read here last week, or last month.
You can do that.
The last time we brought pictures in here, nothing was done. And he was burning and black smoke was coming out and still nothing was done. So what's a picture gonna do for us?
And besides, we had somebody that saw it happen. Now, you're gonna say that that didn't happen?
I'm not arguing with anybody.
Well, you don't have to argue, just do your job, please.
Did the lawyer tell you, Mike, that you couldn't go on private property?
Yes, he did, Tuesday night at the meeting, at Thursday.
Zoning board
Zoning board
meeting.
meeting.
I don't remember that. I have to disagree that I can go on private property based on the information that I have in the building inspector's law, whatever. I do it.
He did say. At the meeting, we asked him, and from what I remember going to the classes, you are allowed to go on private property as a building inspector, but if they have a building permit or there's a violation. But if that person does not want you to go there, then you're not allowed to go, and you would have to get a summons to go.
I don't think Dennis would refuse us, all we have to do is ask him. But I don't really want to go alone, just so we can put this to bed here eventually. So if someone from the board would like to go,
Do I have any volunteers?
Larry, want to go?
Jules will go with you.
There should be at least 2 or 3.
When you're ready, get hold of Jules and you go with you.
Larry wants to
Okay.
go too.
Anything else? Anything else? Need a motion to close the meeting?
I make a motion to close the meeting.
Oh, no, go in executive.
Go into executive.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.